We should probably start there.
Sure.
Who's this?
This is Clara. She's my daughter. She's about 13 months old right now.
And one of the questions I actually had written down here is that I know you're a mom, and now, I mean, here she is.
Yeah.
Is it difficult balancing being a legislator, having a career, and being a mom?
I think, this last session was really unique because she was so little. I got to bring her with me, and with her being a newborn, it was really great having her with me the whole time. And I felt it really kind of helped open doors, and I was able to make friendships with people across the aisle and bond over things that you normally wouldn't. And so I found it was difficult, with the lack of sleep like all moms deal with, and just trying to balance it all. But having a lot of support around me was huge. My colleagues were always there to help me. My husband would come up to the Capitol and pick her up. And, we were able to do it. And I'm sure it's hard for everyone, but we made it.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So I guess just tell us a little bit about your district. You hail from Spring Lake Park.
Yep.
And you represent House District 37A.
Yes.
So just tell us a little bit about the area and some of the issues that are important to your constituents.
So I have the northern part of Spring Lake Park, the southern half of Blaine, and a big chunk of Coon Rapids. And some of the big issues right now are a lot of transportation issues. We have Highway 65 that runs through my district and is, if you've ever driven on it in rush hour or even not in rush hour, it carries as many vehicles as Highway 35. But imagine a stoplight every half mile on 35. So that's what we're dealing with. We actually just had a really great transportation tour of the North Metro, and had legislators from all over, from the Transportation Committee, go out and do a tour of 65. And our police chief, Chief Podany, had talked about, they did a study of a lot of the dangerous intersections in the 7-county metro area, and they found 31 problem intersections, and of those 31, 10 of them were on Highway 65. So we have a third of the major problems just on Highway 65.
It's the second year of the session, typically a bonding year. So are there any particular projects in your area that you would like to see addressed?
Yeah, so some of them were in the recommendations of the governor's bonding project. Some of the National Sports Center projects, they need some more fields and a new maintenance facility. Also the Mighty Ducks grants, which will help upgrade a lot of the arenas from an outdated freezant system. And so that's one that we're really excited about. One I'm hoping we can get in is a training facility for emergency workers up in Blaine. And so that's one that we're working with the governors, or working with staff in the city to see if we can get some of those bonding projects in there.
So Governor Walz, he proposed $2 billion for a bonding proposal. You on board with that?
Yeah, I think we're in good standing. We need the infrastructure upgrades, and when we have the credit and the capacity to do it, I think it puts us in a good position if we end up in a recession down the line, if we have those jobs lined up already for folks. And
you also are a part of the opioid epidemic response advisory council.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the role and maybe some of the duties of that council?
Sure. So right now we're really, it's been a really interesting group to work with. There's so many brilliant people in the area of recovery and addiction that are on that advisory task force. And so one of the big things that we've been looking at is where the federal government and some of the state grants are lacking, where there's gaps, and what we can do with this new task force and help filling some of those gaps. And so it's been a pretty quick process. We're been meeting once a month, and we've been traveling all over the state with these opioid task force meetings. The next one is actually this Friday at Buffalo Hospital, and they're open to the public. And so it's been a really great group of folks to kind of dive into what some of the issues are, where there's still a need, and where the state can step in and really help people recover, or prevention, recovery, and treatment are a lot of things that we're looking at right now.
Is there anything else you think the legislature should make a priority in 2020?
I think a lot of, we need to tackle a lot of the climate change issues, and I think we have an opportunity with the bonding projects to make sure that we're, thinking about the future when it comes to building infrastructure. And so I think, working hand in hand with a lot of the stuff that we're already doing, we should really kind of think to the future and make sure that what we're doing is going to benefit the little ones here.
And that's the last question I have for you. Do you think, I know she's been around to a few committee meetings, do you think it's rubbed off on her? Are we going to see her here someday?
She'll probably be here for the first day of session this year. I don't know. It could either go one of two ways. She could either love it and be really into it, or completely hate it and want nothing to do with politics. And so we'll have to see. It'll be her choice, but we're hoping that she stays engaged and hangs out at the Capitol a bit more.